Well, what is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here. So a little bit later today, actually just in a couple of hours, we're going to be getting Fnatic against Mad Lions. I'm hoping it's going to be an absolute banger. It seems like it's going to be fun. There's already some trash talk and stuff going on Twitter. But what I want to talk about in this video today was what happened earlier this weekend. Hey, spoiler alert, everybody get ready. The Mad Lads over at Fnatic finally got it done after what has been a crazy 2022 season for so many different reasons. Really, I mean, dating all the way back to Worlds last year, and then even going into the offseason, now going into this season with kind of renewed expectations and super team status and all that. Fnatic looked okay in spring. They finished okay in spring. They looked a lot worse in summer. Today, we're going to find out just how lucky they were that the 4th seed got enacted into the LEC. I mean, obviously, the loser of today's game. The game isn't exactly the same because the stakes are not the same, but say, you know, they didn't get the 4th seed, then today's matchup would actually mean a lot. But yes, despite everything they've gone through, whatever technicalities, whatever seeding changes or whatever, Fnatic is going to Worlds. They are going to Worlds yet again. I believe Fnatic has never missed Worlds, which is just absolutely insane. And this one, a lot of times, was in question. We didn't even know if Fnatic was going to make the playoffs in the summer split. Then we really didn't know if they were going to go to Worlds after doing so. Yes, they did have to win 2 best-of-5s, and they were down and almost out against Excel. Excel had them right where they wanted them, and maybe should have been able to close it out, but probably could have closed it out. Fnatic ends up coming back with a reverse sweep, but then this past series against Misfits, Fnatic looked pretty strong, and you could argue Misfits just isn't that good, or they're one-dimensional, or, you know, it's the VTO and crew or whatever. But Misfits had looked pretty good, especially down the stretch in summer, and Fnatic looked really good against them. Yes, Misfits probably should have won game 2, but Fnatic had a lead and kind of threw it as well in game 2. But Fnatic ends up closing out with a 3-0, and they're actually starting to gain some momentum. So the question goes from, is Fnatic even going to make Worlds to, or is Fnatic even going to make playoffs, and then is Fnatic even going to make Worlds? So all of a sudden, how far can Fnatic make this lower bracket run? Because it actually matters a lot. Like, yes, going to Worlds is great, but if you can make it to finals, that's going to be very big, because you want to avoid this Worlds play-ins, because there's going to be 5 major region teams. You're going to have the LCS team, 2 LEC teams, 1 LCK team, 1 LPL team. Then you're still going to have a team from the VCS and a team from the PCS. And we know the LJL seems like they've been getting better and better. And I believe only 4 teams are going to make it out of the play-in. So you're going to have probably 5 at least decent teams, possibly a 6th and 7th and 8th decent team, all competing for 4 spots. So that's going to be very difficult. I mean, no matter what, at least one of the major region teams is not going to be making it to Worlds, and it could end up being more as well. So not being in the play-ins in the first place is going to be a huge advantage. And if Fnatic wants to do that, they're going to have to take down Mad Lions. They're going to have to take down Rogue to ultimately set themselves up in another LEC final, another date with G2, all this other stuff. We'll have to be able to see if they're going to be able to do that. But obviously, the biggest thing is them getting to Worlds. Now, at certain points in this channel, people have called me a Fnatic hater, yada. It's like, no, I don't hate Fnatic. I don't have anything against Fnatic. Have they had a lot of drama and managerial and coaching issues and all this different stuff? Yeah, sure. And have I commented on all that stuff and reported on all that stuff? Yeah, sure. That's what we do here. But like, at the end of the day, I don't have anything against Fnatic. I think that their management should step up and be better, and I think they still need to work on that. I think coaching staff and stuff should step up and be better. I think they still need to work on that. And throughout this year, coming into the year, I said I thought Fnatic was the best team on paper in the LEC. I picked them to win this thing in both the spring and summer splits. I still thought they were going to be able to turn it around. Obviously, it's not looking so great now, but hey, they're in the top 4. They have a chance at this thing. But they've been able to turn it around. And honestly, everyone's kind of talking about Caps right now and how the insane form that he's in and how he's carrying G2 and all this stuff. And I'm not saying that Upset is performing maybe necessarily as good as Caps or better than Caps or anything like that, but Upset is in pretty insane form right now as well. I think especially this weekend against Misfits, and again, we'll see how they look today, but I think against Misfits, Hylissang looked as good as he's looked in quite some time as well. I was really impressed with Hylissang, and this is for sure the best we've seen of Razork this whole year. I think there is still some left to be desired with Wonder, and I still think there's a lot to be desired with Humanoid, especially because we know he has been better previously and can be better, but despite all the criticism and drama and all the stuff this year of like, oh, Razork sucks, he was overrated, Razork doesn't fit in with this Fnatic team, he looks unhappy, he can't find good form, whatever, all the hate against Humanoid of, hey, he wants to go to Wonderland and he looks so out of it, he wishes he was in NA. Who knows, or El Yoya carried him last year, or Mad Lions carried him last year, whatever people have wanted to say, this Fnatic team was able to play through it. They were able to get it done. They are going back to Worlds. And I think this is a very, very big thing. Now, hey, I would have also not minded the timeline. Again, this isn't me hating Fnatic. This is just me loving the spiciness of the offseason and being here for the content, the storylines and everything is, man, it would have been pretty crazy if Fnatic missed Worlds, and then what would have happened? What would have happened to this roster? What changes would they have made? Because it is tough, because on paper and with nameplates on, these 5 players seem pretty damn good. And there's going to be so many decisions that would have needed to be made and still are going to have to be made for all these players and the org of like, do all 5 of these players want to return? And then does Fnatic want all 5 of these players? And if they do choose to replace somebody, who are they going to go after? Who are their options going to be? Who's going to want to come to Fnatic? Who's Fnatic going to want? Who's Fnatic going to have the money for? Which players are going to want to go to NA? Which players are going to want to go to another team in the LEC? Which players are even going to be available? Like there is all these questions, and it would have been so spicy, and I was ready. I was ready to post Fnatic is finished. I was ready for my Fnatic rebuild. I was, thinking about it all and getting to that point. But all that's not done yet, because still, if Fnatic loses to Mad Lions today and Fnatic goes to the play-ins and they don't get out, ultimately, yes, it will be better that they made it to the play-ins and they made it to Worlds and all that stuff rather than if they didn't qualify at all. But at the same time, this will still largely be a disappointment for Fnatic. This is maybe, I know people have argued of whether or not Fnatic is actually a super team or not. They have a lot of pretty good, some great players, but it's not like they have like 5 of the best players of the LEC at every single position or anything like that. You could argue they're close, but I don't know. To me, they're like close to a super team, maybe not quite a super team, maybe like the bottom of a super team status or something like that. I don't know for sure, but still, if that team doesn't make it to any finals, only makes it to the play-ins at Worlds, and losing the play-ins at Worlds, that would still be a disappointment. That is still not what Fnatic was hoping for this year. And then still, they would be at risk of making some changes. Again, whether or not that's players wanting to leave or the management and the org deciding to go with some different players or whatever. So I don't know. I think really the only way at this point to turn things around is Fnatic, or to make this year a success. I think Fnatic needs to make it to the LEC finals. I think they need to go to Worlds. I think if they go to play-ins, they need to make it out of play-ins. And I think they need to be competitive in the group stage. Like, yes, ideally they would make it out of groups and be competitive in the quarterfinals. But if they win like 3 games and lose in a tiebreaker or don't get a tiebreaker and miss quarters because they got 3 wins, I don't think that would be the end of the world for Fnatic either, especially with everything they've gone through this year. Now, would that be best case scenario? No. Would that still be disappointing? Yes. But when you think a couple weeks ago, we didn't even know if Fnatic was going to be in playoffs if they go to groups and win 3 games in the group stages. Ultimately, I think that would be kind of okay for this year. But yeah, spicy times are still yet to come. Fnatic against Mad Lions today. I'm hoping it's going to be a banger. I'm hoping it's going to be fun. We still have the rest of the playoffs in both the LEC and LCS, which are going to be crazy. We still have Worlds, and then we still have the offseason, all the rumors, all the drama, all the roster changes coming your way very, very soon. But for Misfits, their season is over. Their LEC run is over. Minus Misfits plus Heretics. They're coming in. Who knows what they're going to do? But we do know that Fnatic is going to Worlds. And that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. If you drop a like if you did enjoy it, I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about anything we talked about in this video today. Consider checking out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/I_am_germ. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then.